If you're a fan of guitar, which I can only assume you are, I'm sure you've seen those lists counting down the greatest guitarists of all time. When you have something like music and art that relies so heavily on taste, I find these lists to be a little bit useless. So who is the greatest guitar player of all time? I don't know, and I would say it's very much up to you. That's all I have to say. I'm Samurai Guitarist. Thank you so much for watching. Just joking, I have a lot more to say. Gotcha. When trying to figure out the greatest of anything, you need to set up some sort of metric, a unit of measurement. Of course, when setting up such a thing for guitar, you're invariably going to need to rely on personal taste, making the idea of finding the objective greatest guitarist totally impossible. Having said that, I think there's certain qualities that the greats often possess, and that's what I want to look at today. I believe that there's a threshold of technical proficiency that musicians cross, and once you've passed that point, the idea of being better than your peers doesn't really apply anymore. For example, I don't think you can compare someone like B.B. King against Django Reinhardt. Both were truly masters of what they did, and it's up to the listener to ultimately decide which one they prefer. Of course, someone like B.B. King is obviously better than the 5-year-old who walks into guitar lessons for the first time. Greats are all masters of their craft, that craft being different depending on the musician. So what is mastery? I define it as the pinnacle of musicianship, where there's no divide between what the inner ear hears, or what some might label the soul, and what's produced through an instrument. A master is one with their guitar, creating a seamless flow of self-expression. They have total control over every sound produced. What Neil Young plays is what he hears. The same is true with Pat Metheny. They just happen to be on totally opposite sides of the spectrum, but both are masters, apples and oranges. I think this is crucial. All greats are masters of their craft, though this is not the only criteria. To be great, you need to innovate in one way or another, or at the very least, you need to bring something to a new audience. There are countless musicians today that can play like Eddie Van Halen, but he was the first, and that lends itself to his greatness. Eddie is an absolutely phenomenal musician, but it's the fact that he created something fresh, new, and exciting, and brought it to the mainstream that makes him special. The greats aren't followers, but they're leaders. Which brings us to another pillar of greatness, influence. I could be the most technically proficient innovator of all time, but if no one hears my music, it's a bit of a waste. You look at the gods of guitar, and they all change the landscape of music around them, which is kind of another reason why those top 10 lists are useless. The value of someone's influence often depends on subjectivity. Charlie Christian was one of the early pioneers of jazz guitar, but if you ask a bunch of metalheads who the greats are, I'm not sure that he makes the cut. Having said all that, I suppose there is a little bit of value in those countdown lists. If nothing else, there's a good chance you might discover some pretty amazing new guitarists. Though I'm sure you'll find yourself annoyed that one of your favorites didn't make the cut, while someone else is much higher up than you think they should be. We all have our favorites, and the favorites of some guy writing a list are no more valuable than yours. So who is the greatest of all time? Truly, it's in the eye of the beholder. Or we can all just agree that it's Hendrix and move on. Okay, now I'm actually done. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that video. I want to take this opportunity to let you guys know about something I've started doing. Every Tuesday and Thursday from 6 to 7 Central Standard Time, I'm going to be live streaming over at www.ampla.fi/samuraiguitarist. This is a website like Twitch, but with a focus on music. Please stop by, there's no charge. I try to keep it as interactive as possible, and it's a great chance to chat with you guys and play guitar in a live setting. I hope to see you there. Thank you again for watching. I'm Samurai Guitarist, and I will see you again next time.